Regular council meeting to order August 20th, 2024 at 7 o'clock. Are there any additions to the agenda? Is there anything on it? Got to show the no additions to the agenda. Any citizen comments? Got to show no citizen comments. EBH Engineering, 5th Street project.
Man, that's quick.
Turn it over to you.
I wasn't expecting that. I'm Joel Crochell with EBH Engineering. I came probably at the beginning of this year, talked about applying for the KDOT cost share grant to do 5th from the highway to Prairie, and we did get awarded that about $787,000. Right? $787,867 to do that. What we've got planned is 10-inch asphalt from the highway, 600 feet, and then 5 inches asphalt the rest of the way to Prairie over an aggregate base with curb and gutter on both sides, approximately 31 feet back to back. So I know there was some questions you guys had.
I have emailed you from the last meeting that obviously can we do concrete from 281 up to Campbell driveway and then from there do asphalt all the way to Perry?
We can do a number of alternatives, and I was going to plan on bidding it both ways anyway, bidding it asphalt and concrete. But if we want to make sure we have concrete for the first piece, we'll just put it as concrete. They don't care if we change it; they're just not going to give us any more money. So if the price goes over, then we have a share in there that's the city has 20% of the construction cost plus the surveying, engineering, and construction services are all in the city. But anything goes over, it's all in the city. The KDOT's not going to put in any more money than what they've got on that letter. So we can do what you want, but yeah, everything we change it raises the price, which the original estimate's just an estimate anyway. You never know what price they're going to do. They've consistently gone up the last 3 years higher than I could have anticipated, so you just never know what's going to happen. But as long as you know, we can kind of make those changes for sure.
Yeah, my question, I guess, just in general is timeline. So I assume that we're going to sit down and kind of build those bids out with you of exactly what we want. Because I know when we did the grant, it was a pretty quick turnaround to actually writing the grant and getting it submitted. So, but at the time we had talked about possibilities of, sidewalk on one side. We talked about the concrete. We talked about even going wider than 30 feet because it would be a pretty high trafficked road. So, at what point will we have those discussions with you to really nail down the positives and negatives and decide what the true design will be?
Okay. Part of the reason we did that, KDOT they kind of cap these out how much they'll give.
Sure.
And so we tried to fit it in, make it more attractive to KDOT to fund it. So the next thing is I've given a contract to the city for surveying, engineering, and inspection services on the project. So if you tell me to go ahead, we'll start. We're on schedule. There's a schedule that's in there that we've turned in, and then it's a realistic schedule on how these projects normally go. So we would survey, and I would kind of work on preliminary plans, but you guys had criteria before that time. You can just tell me what we'd like it to be. I've kind of matched the width on what history is past Prairie is what I've done. So
Sure.
if we want to go wider, just say, hey, we'd like to go a little wider, and I can work it into the plan. But then, any comments you have, I'll work into, most likely, I'll talk to you about them. If something I don't agree with, I want to make sure we have, a good project, and so I'll bring preliminary plans at some point. If you tell me what criteria you have, I'll do plans up. Well, survey it first, of course, then I'll draw plans up, and there'll be preliminary plans, and you guys will have a chance to review them. We can make changes at that point, and then we'd make those changes. We submit them to KDOT for review. And then once they say, yeah, you're good to go, we would go out for bids with those plans. So.
Okay. I'm assuming the survey will do O&E reports and make sure we've got the right of way we need for everything and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
make sure I understood that right. It's 12 inches for the first 500 foot coming off of 281,
10 inches.
10 inches?
10 inches of asphalt over a 5-inch aggregate base.
10 inches of asphalt,
10 inches of
not
asphalt.
concrete.
That
Right
was the
now,
original.
the grant was written for asphalt, but if we
We can change it.
change that,
Okay.
yeah.
That's already.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna have to be wider than what the street currently is. I
It
just
is
don't
wider
know.
than the current street that's there.
Okay.
The 31 feet is gonna be wider than the gravel that's there. It's gonna be like the width of the street, like you said, on the
Mm,
west side of Prairie where Fifth is there.
gotcha.
So yeah, it's gonna be wider than the existing street, not the existing gravel, not the existing where it already has curb and gutter.
Right, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So the first stage, we make a motion, or is?
Yes, we need to approve this contract with them so they can start.
Start.
Yes. Have you guys have a chance to read through the contract? Danny, I have emailed it to him and you don't have any concern?
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with it.
Hey, you want a couple minutes to look this contract over, council? Oh, yeah. Is this something you guys wanna make a motion to start on?
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we go into contract with EBH for the KDOT cost share program grant for their engineering and construction and, or design, construction and surveying services, as written.
Second.
Got a motion on the table and by Aaron Gleason, we got a second by Kyle Bunker. Is there any more discussion on this issue before we vote on it? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you. I'll email this over to you.
And now, and I can, email a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, but I wanted to discuss the project now, if you have specific concerns or if for sure we wanna do concrete, that first 600 feet.
Well, I think we wanna bid it for sure.
Yeah, I think we
If-
at least
if-
wanna bid that.
If you want it for sure, I can show the first part concrete for sure, and the rest of it I can bid both ways.
I don't think we'll wanna go concrete all the way unless there's a cost.
But I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes there will be, sometimes, because this is a small asphalt job and a big concrete job. So I normally bid it both ways, and a lot of times they're really close.
Okay.
But if for sure we want concrete first 600 feet, no matter what, then I won't bid that as an alternate. I'll make, this has to be concrete. This other piece, you can bid both ways, and the city will choose which one they want when the bids come in.
Well, I think it makes sense with the truck traffic.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's like a lot of traffic in there, parking at White's to go to the grocery store and then the Hambles.
Okay.
Where-
We'll just work that into it.
Where does 600 foot, just put that coming west?
Should have a drawing in there.
Right by Hample's driveway,
is it-
almost.
Is it?
Is it east of Hamples or west of Hamples?
I thought it was right west of Hambles.
Yeah.
Just right.
This is a line right there.
Right there?
600 feet.
Okay, so that's gonna catch Chad's driveway and it's gonna catch Hample.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep, that's it right there.
And that's gonna be a 10-inch concrete,
5-inch base with 10 inches on
5
top, right?
inches.
Yep. And if we want concrete, that's all, I'll make sure that's concrete there, and the rest of it, we'll bid both ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I think you better think about concrete.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to
Yeah.
do concrete there.
Like I said, then
For at
those-
least that, and then if you're gonna bid it both ways.
And then like I said, the width will match the width down here, as you can see, it's wider than the existing gravel that's there, so. And do you wanna,
A lot of truck traffic right here.
do you wanna have sidewalk on one side as an alternate? Say, here, we're gonna bid, give me a price for sidewalk, and if it comes in good, you can say yes, or say no, it'd be an alternate bid, wouldn't be part of the base bid. Just be an extra, just so you could see the price, would you wanna do that?
I think so.
Yeah.
We definitely wanna see it, yeah, for sure.
For the north side, you guys?
I don't know that it,
I mean, that's the side of the grocery store, but.
yeah.
You got parking along here.
Yeah, the north side.
Yeah, north,
Now, when that goes 600 feet, when it I'm not familiar with Kansas Dirt, and do their property lines match up on north and south?
Probably pretty close.
Here's Chad's
Okay.
Kansas Dirt's Drive, and here's Hample's Drive, I think, the way I look at that map.
I'm just wondering if we should go a little bit past that, because if their trucks come in from if trucks are coming in from the west, turning in east, or turning in north and south, is it gonna tear up that, where the asphalt butts against the concrete?
That's a pretty good point.
Where would you, how far out then would you put it, like, did that, like, where would that be?
What do trucks do?
It looks like you could, I mean, all the trucks are gonna be coming from
That should
the
be coming
east.
from the highway.
Yeah,
And
there's
then
gonna
turning
be,
in.
and there should be.
If they're coming
it's
from
there.
the west, that's pretty rare because it'd be a job in town.
You probably don't want them, you probably want to put a sign at that point saying no more big trucks. You probably don't want them in the rest of town anyway.
I mean, surely that's enough room to swing in the east for both the north and south driveway, north to Kansas Dirt, south to the Hamples. And then if they're coming out, they're turning here. I mean, it looks.
Does it look good?
Yeah.
So this is just a farm shed here.
Okay.
So here would be Hample's driveway. So you're going to be turning out here, or turning out here, or in.
Okay.
Yeah.
This, I mean, this isn't a high traffic, so that's not.
All right, so if that's 600 feet from that line, then
Should be enough room.
anything else, you guys?
It'll take a while to get a survey and everything, so if you think of something, just email me.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. I'll be interested. It looks like, I mean, based on this map from '86, and then it looks like our right of way necks down pretty significantly at Fifth Avenue or Fifth Street there. Sorry, Santa Fe. So we go from 100-foot right away to 40-foot right away for the rest of the. So getting curb and gutter and road will be tight.
yeah, it's gonna be tight.
Yeah. So just, I guess, something to, on your survey to look
So you
for
might
and
not have
see
room for a sidewalk actually, unless you want to try to acquire
without,
some
without acquiring some right of way.
additional right of way, yeah.
Which I think long term, we're gonna want a sidewalk there, but
Oh,
it'll be
yeah,
interesting to see what that looks like. It's a little more complicated.
So we might have to cheat that road over a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if the road has cheated one way or the other, I mean, it'll be interesting to see where the actual right of way is,
Yeah.
because the road may be off the right of way right now.
We might leave it prairie, we might leave the existing and have to kind of shift it over just there.
Yeah. Because you've got some room to play with, because it doesn't neck down until Santa Fe.
Yeah.
So where it really curves to the north here on Prairie, we may still be in the right of way, but that, you might have to kind of exaggerate
Yeah.
that curve to get to the center line here.
Yep.
Anything else?
You need anything else? Any questions for Joel? Any more?
No.
Yeah, if you think of anything, just email me, call me. I said it'll probably be several months before we have preliminary plans done, but I'll make sure we get a copy back and you guys can look them over and make changes at that point. So then at that point, we'll turn them into KDOT and, yeah, the whole thing takes a little time to go through all the steps, but you got plenty of time if you think of something or if you see something you don't like, you can make changes.
Sure.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming.
Joel.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Moving on, groundwater.
Orin.
Orin, yeah.
Thank you for seeing me tonight. Name's Warren Farrell, for those that don't know. I'm the district manager for Big Bend and GMP5 in Stafford. We cover about 8 counties in this area regarding groundwater and regulation and use of water in the area. The reason I wanted to speak with you guys tonight is there's a grant opportunity I think would be really beneficial for the city as well as obviously some selfish needs for the district. So I'm being very transparent. I do have some partners on the line with me from the Nature Conservancy, Justin Cobb and Heidi Mell. Unfortunately, they weren't able to be with us tonight to be in person with you, but they are big time advocates for sustainable water use in this region, and they have done a lot of work in this area to make things succeed. What I have before you tonight, I have a couple pieces of paper. One is a lengthy document. It's really the full grant description and all the P's and Q's about what that grant opportunity is with the Kansas Water Office. It's a state grant. No reimbursement funds. This is purely a grant. It's money, cash in hand. So what I give that to you just so you had full transparency of what the program is, what the requirements are, those types of things. I understand it's a lot to read in a short amount of time, so take that and digest it by all means. But what I really want to direct your attention to is the other two documents. One is a quick, simple summary. It has the pictures at the bottom of it. So Big Bend District number 5, we applied for this same grant opportunity last summer as well. We're unsuccessful. The primary reason we were unsuccessful, we're not a municipality. We are eligible under the program to apply, but they came back and said, thank you for your application. You are not competitive because you're not a municipality. In fact, they prioritize municipalities under 2,000 people. So I thought, hey, this year when we reapply, let's come at it from a different angle, different approach, still come at it and try and get the funding to remove phreatophytes, invasive species along Rattlesnake Creek, but see what the city of St. John needs for its infrastructure, so sewer, water, or debt repayment. You know, so if you have any outstanding water loans, that you can get those paid off, or at least a substantial portion of that paid off. And so that's really what I want to present to you tonight. The second document, the front back, really goes into what would be the project's narrative in the grant application. Goes into a little bit more detail about it. There's a big obvious hole right there in the middle of the first page, and that is where we fill in what the municipality would need for this grant opportunity. So that's an opportunity for you to say, we need $100,000 for this project, or we need to pay off $1 million of this loan. Fill in the blanks, and we'd love to work with whoever's appropriate to fill in that narrative and then put this application in on your behalf. What we're committing to do is, one, be the champion for this project, be the champion for you before the water office, and really handle all the administrative costs, all the administration side of it, and really facilitate everything on the back end of it. So really all you'd be worried about is what we need and how much am I going to get paid for. That's really the goal from my perspective, but I do have Justin Cobb and Heidi Mell online, and they are the experts in this program, and I'll happily turn it over to them unless you have questions for me.
What's the time frame on this?
Yeah, great question. September 6th is the deadline. So the clock is ticking. We wanted to get before you tonight, just to at least introduce the idea. If you had time to think about it tonight, we could then discuss it over the next couple of weeks. And then we'd have potentially another council meeting before that deadline so that we could finalize any kind of a application and then put that in before the deadline. Great question.
So you've done this project once in a different part of the county or in a different
No.
county?
It's right here.
Okay.
Our original goal last year was to, again, remove invasive species along Rattlesnake Creek, extend that from Quivira closer to St. John. And then the second piece was to incentivize water users and irrigators around here to put in better irrigation techniques and better technology on their center pivot systems. And so we felt, let's pull that piece out, because other programs are doing that right now. Let's pull that out, let's insert the municipality and really push that forward and see if this is successful.
I guess it said there was a previous project. Where was that? Was
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a previous project for phreatophyte removal that did about 28 stream miles. And Rattlesnake Creek is not a straight stream. It's wiggly as all get out, right? from Quivira. It started there at the Quivira boundaries and worked its way west along Rattlesnake Creek. Not all continuous acres. There were some jumps because some private landowners didn't want the project to go forward. That's fine. We just moved to the next neighbor and presented the opportunity to come in and pull those invasive trees out and restore that grass waterway.
Okay. So what's the grant application? It would have our municipal need, and then it would have this.
Yes.
More of the
Phreatify.
phreatify
Yes.
removal. What kind of costs, like, would you be applying for specific dollar amounts, or what does that look like?
Yeah, the municipality would be putting your price tag in. Yes.
Okay.
And then Justin has been running numbers and crunching numbers the last week on what the Phreatify piece is.
Okay.
GMD5 is really just trying to help facilitate this conversation, get TNC into the area to do this Phreatify project, and then to bring the municipality into the project and see this thing push forward. That's really our takeaway from this, is trying to get this to happen. Because in the grand scheme, this is all about the rattlesnake and Quivira. This will help further that project to be successful by restoring those stream miles to grass waterways as opposed to these invasive species, as well as anything that can be done to make St. John a good steward of water when it uses water, so that it just paints a better picture for the city as well. Because we already have the spotlight on us, so let's be a good steward while we're doing that.
Okay. You have a good example of
Yeah.
where we could use help, which is the nitrate
That's one
plant.
thing we thought of, yeah.
Ballpark number, is it, I don't know how much we have left on our nitrate loan, 600?
600.
So
Okay.
is 600,000, is that the ballpark number we're looking at, or are we looking at applying for 100,000? I mean, like,
600 is not a big number.
okay.
So is there like a maximum of what we can ask for?
That's a Justin question. Justin, do you remember a per applicant's maximum?
The maximum is 8 million.
Yeah, so,
I thought that was the case, but I didn't want to speak.
so what, what will you be asking for? You've been crunching numbers this week.
Again, that's just
Yeah.
the question.
Yeah, we were looking somewhere in the nature of 250 to 300,000 for the Phreatify work.
Okay. So, having seen, you guys have seen some success getting this
Yes.
grant. So,
Not getting this. Sorry, not this grant.
But we
They've
have-
had this in operation basically 1 year,
oh, okay,
and we were unsuccessful the first time.
okay.
And so the money's out there.
So it's hard to know. I was just say,
Yeah.
does it throw a flag if the city is asking for 600, but the Natural Conservancy
No.
is asking for 300?
No. No,
Is there a certain percentage?
It's really gearing for municipalities and infrastructure, and improving infrastructure, paying off loans. That's really what this program's geared for. But it opens it up for any special water district like GMD5 to do a project. And so, like I said, it's really geared for municipalities. So that's what, let's do this. Let's get this thing going.
Jason, do you have anything else that you think would fall into this that the city would need help with? There's nitrate plant.
Does it include like storm sewer, curb and gutter on the street? That has become a big problem within our town. But with this grant, will we be able to use that money for that?
Justin, do you remember for stormwater issues, wastewater? I don't know if they're still on.
Yes, eligibility is very broad. The term that they use is water-related infrastructure. That being said, the overwhelming majority of the folks they gave to last time were debt paydowns on previous capital projects. But yeah, any type of infrastructure project related to water would be eligible.
To me, it seems like a pretty open, almost a blank
Broad.
check for what, very broad eligibility criteria.
Yeah.
So Jason's prioritizing, his number one that he would like to see would be the curb from here on Main Street all the way up to 9th. Number two, we could do some more lining of the sewers. You know, we've done that 2 different chunks. I don't know how many feet we've done, but there's a lot left. That was roughly 200,000 each time we did it, right? So you
Correct.
could do another chunk of that. He also discussed,
Water
yeah,
main
yeah,
on East Third.
replacing the water line from over here at the courthouse all the way to Santa Fe, which would be kind of the T. It's
That's
all
the,
original.
yeah, oldest pipe in town, and there was some report of lead in some of those pipe, which you guys know that it's becoming a big issue. But he had talked to us, and it sounded like the first project that they needed to be done is the storm sewer.
But at the time, when, I mean, I wasn't aware that the debt reduction was in play either. I thought it was just straight for infrastructure projects, so I mean, that would,
So I guess, can we tailor an application that said the city is asking for 1.2 million, and then break it down by saying 657,000 XXX dollars is to pay off the nitrate plant, 200,000 is to line this sewer line, 200,000 to line this sewer line, and 400,000 to take a new line from the courthouse to Santa Fe, however many feet that is, 1,000 feet. And then that gives them the opportunity to say, we've accepted your grant, but we're prioritizing debt, so no, but
Yeah.
here's your 650. I mean, is that,
I would say the more robust and outlining of everything you need on the plate of saying this, and then they say, yeah, we can fund so much. Sorry, we can't fund this piece of it, but we can do the other.
Sure.
I think the more you can do that and really lay out the need, the more competitive you'll be. Because if you can show that there's a need that's not being fulfilled right now, and this program would fill that, it makes a pretty compelling argument. So like I said, we just thought, hey, let's lay this out and see what the options are. What I would look for tonight, again, I'm not necessarily looking for action by you guys tonight. Again, we do have a few weeks now. Justin would be upset with me if I said that too much, because he's kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting with doing the application. But what I would like to see is if you guys are willing to do this, we can maybe work with Jason to identify those things and put those price tags and work on that narrative. Then maybe on the 3rd, we could come back with that full narrative and maybe that full application
Vote on it.
for you to take a look at and then take action on it at that point. Again, this is quite a bit for you to process in 10 minutes, so I understand and I respect that. So I just wanted to at least introduce the idea to you, see what your thoughts were, see what your temperature might be on it.
yeah, I think that everywhere you look in St. John, there's plenty of water infrastructure that needs updated, so.
I think it's a no-brainer to at least take it one more step and then make
Yeah.
a decision on that September 3rd meeting.
Correct.
It sounds like, you know, if we take another step, you may have
Safely,
close to the application complete by
Yeah.
September 3rd to where you would meet the September 6th
Yeah,
deadline.
I think so. I won't speak too much for Justin. Again, he's doing quite a bit of the heavy lift on the back end. He did that for the first time go around last year. They said our application looked good, just they were prioritizing. They had a much more abundant demand than what they had funds for last year, and so they run it again this year. So I honestly think that having the municipality piece added into this and pulling the other piece out, I think is a better fit for this program than what we had last year. I think it's more competitive. So again, if you'd be willing to, I'd love to, you know, maybe Jason, Justin, and I can sit on the phone and we can hash out what your piece of that narrative looks like, and then fill in what eligibility gaps we have and fill this out.
Yeah,
It's okay
Pam,
with you.
yeah, I would agree, and Pam, I would look
Yeah.
at the KDHE, you know, if you can reference the lead pipe survey
Mhm.
and the unknowns that are coming with that, and then, you know, showing some proactive measures to try to get grant money to proactively do that. You know, the state might say, oh, St. John, you know, let's do that. Let's see how it goes in St. John, and then with that program, you know, we start mitigating those issues too.
Right.
Add a piece in there that references their own kind of, I mean, I think having the continuity of the projects, I think would be good.
Knowing how the water world works, you know, the agencies, the alphabet soup, so to speak, the more you can say, our program we already have in place, you know, thank you for the funding to do it. It dovetails right in with what your initiatives are too. The more you can say that, it makes it easier for KDG and other things to get off your
justify
back
funding,
and justify funding other projects too, yeah. Just saying that's kind of how the water world tends to work.
Yeah.
So how, let's say we applied for the grant and you asked for 500,000, we asked for 500,000. And we got the grant, but it's only 800,000. So how do we allocate, like, who gets what amount of money? You get what I'm saying? Because obviously we
Sure.
didn't get the whole amount that we both
Sure.
asked for.
I think at that point we come back to the council and say, okay, this is what we got, and then hash out how that works. I don't think we'd say, okay, sorry, we came up with the idea, we're gonna take the 500, you guys are gonna get 3.
Sure.
That's not reasonable.
Right.
That's not good stewardship anyway. So I think we come back and maybe split it down the middle or do something to work with the city on how that works. I don't foresee that being an issue.
Sure, yeah.
But that's how I would at least approach it myself.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm not trying to.
Sure. No, you got to think about those unintended,
Sure.
possibilities, right?
Right.
Yes.
So can this only be applied for one time?
At this point, I don't know if they're doing renewables. At this point, I think they're single-year grants. I don't know if they're recurring. It's really at the discretion of the legislature to fund these, and I can't remember the amount this year in this whole total pot, but it's a lot. Governor Kelly did grant quite a bit of money to the water world this year because there's some excess money coming from previous years and some excess money is coming into the water. So this is a prime time to really be looking at these things. So it's a really good thing to be coming, and you guys already have some projects in line to make this work.
Did you know any stats from last year, how many people got awarded?
Oh, I don't remember.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I
There's
don't
quite a
remember.
few.
It was abundant.
Okay.
But about half the projects got funded. I mean, there's a lot more demand than what could be funded. The funding last year was not as robust as it is this year, though. So we're hoping that with more robust funding, and then hopefully less demand, we'll be more competitive. I think having it be a combination of municipal with some natural infrastructure, I think kind of makes it interesting. You know, it's an interesting story that water office can tell, saying, hey, we're funding these municipalities, hey, but we're also doing one that's a combination, and kind of showcasing that. And hey, and by the way, the water office is also helping this rattlesnake thing. So I think it's, it kind of helps them with their narrative a little bit, with how they can tell their stories.
So you're with GMD5.
Yes, sir.
Big Ben. So who is TNC?
Yes.
Yeah, just.
Yes, TNC, that's the Nature Conservancy.
Okay.
Okay, so they have a little bit of write-up of their not-for-profit corporation. And Justin or Heidi, I'll let you take that one.
Well, hi everyone. I can let Justin jump in, but so the Nature Conservancy, like Oren said, is a global 501c3 nonprofit working on solutions for both people and nature. And here in Kansas, we've been partnering with folks in the Rattlesnake Creek Basin, trying to bring in some voluntary solutions for water savings. We've done previous phreatophyte removal projects. And we also have a conservation innovation grant over the last 3 years where we were providing technical assistance and cost share to upgrade pivots and improve water application efficiency on the pivots. So it's been a really, really great partnership, and we're just looking for ways to continue that work in the basin.
Thank you.
If you have any questions, by all means, Pam has my contact information. Send me emails and questions by all means. I said I'd love to work with Jason on seeing this thing go forward. It's okay with you guys.
So Larry, you'll be back on the 3rd.
Sure. Yeah. Heidi, Justin, the 3rd work for you guys to come back?
Yep, that'll work.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Warren.
Thank you.
Thank all of you.
You want me to kill the Zoom session then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll kill the Zoom. Thanks, Heidi. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you all.
Thank you, folks.
Thank
Thanks, Warren.
Thanks, Warren. Moving on. I'd entertain a motion to consent agenda, approve the minutes, regular council meeting August 6th of 2024.
To approve minutes, regular council meeting August 6, 2024.
Motion on the table by Bryant.
Second.
And a second by Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. I'd entertain a motion for appropriation ordinance 08-2024 AP in the amount of $41,688.66. Somebody wants to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the appropriation ordinance 082024 AP for the amount of $41,688.66.
Motion on the table. I hear a second.
Second.
Second by Mark Bryant. Motion was made by Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. I'd entertain a motion from somebody for petty cash at $252.05.
Make a motion to approve petty cash in the amount of $252.05.
Brant makes the motion. Here a second.
Second.
Raines seconds it. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. I'd entertain a motion on Elster Solutions LLC for the amount of $8,700, and that is for the annual fee for the electric and water metering system. Somebody wants to make a motion?
That's what we talked about last meeting, correct? The fee, or is this something?
No, this is different.
Okay.
That is for the licensings for the new handheld. This is the Elster, which is the system that we use to look at the usage on the meter, detecting meter leaks and water leaks, and stuff like that. So
Your notes on the invoice is just splitting it between the two funds.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I
it's,
figured.
How much higher is that than last year?
it's the same price
Same,
last year.
okay.
Yeah, it went up a couple of years ago from 6,000 to 8, but it hasn't gone up since.
Did we go to an annual fee? Is that why there's a $419 charge?
The 419 is actually a monthly charge. There's monthly charge for them to be on call 24/7 if we have problem or anything like that, for them to assist us. And then, yeah, the annual fee.
So
on
there's
top of
annual
that.
and a monthly fee?
Yes.
Yep, just like it is on any other
Do they-
computerized system.
Yeah. Maybe they don't do this, but if they have a discount for paying for that service fee for the whole year at once.
I can ask.
Just might ask if there's
yeah.
like a 10%.
The monthly fee, yeah.
Maybe they're like, no, because it's you're getting the service every month.
Sure.
And that's fine, but I'm just, we're gonna pay it either way, so
They
there's
would
a
probably say,
discount.
they'd rather think it might go up.
Yeah, who knows?
Anyway, I'd
Worth a
entertain a
question,
motion.
Make a motion to approve Esther Solutions invoice for $8,700 for the annual fee for the electric and water metering system.
Second.
Got a motion by Raines, a second by Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? That's 5-0. Brings us down to department heads, electric department. Curtis, you got anything?
Yeah. We passed emissions test on number 5 engine. Kinda had finagle it, we had to pull the cabinets out of the other motors just to get that addressed. That's the emissions, emission for stuff. Bids I got.
Go ahead.
We will need to send those catalysts off to get worse. They got free cleaning for life on those catalysts on the older ones. But kind of puts you in a situation when you got them pulled out.
Pop.
If you have to generate, you won't be able to generate without having catalysts in there. So it'd be nice to have a backup set if we ever had to send them in again. There's prices over there. To send them in before we can have something put in there while we look at another set clean down the road. And they are, power plant compliance is 4,000, third page.
4,000.
4,500. Yeah, 4,000 apiece. And we can get by with 4 of them. She quoted 7, so we can get by with 4 of them. Then we'll be able to rotate them around as we need to send the other ones in. Something for you guys to think about. I don't need approval for it today.
So you say
letting you guys know that. I promise.
So you said we can get by with 4.
Yeah,
But
she quoted for all the 2 cats and the OP.
Okay.
So how often do you anticipate like them needing clean? Like is this an every?
Hopefully not. I mean, the more you run, the more.
Yeah,
you
so
need.
it'll depend on usage, but is this
I
like?
want to say 3 years to 5 years.
So if we get them cleaned now,
Yeah, I got to
and
load
we
it up.
have exposure, it might be 3 years, and if we buy these, they might just sit.
Yeah, I mean it's an option. Like I said, it just puts you in a situation if we had to generate, we might not have full capacity.
That's the,
I'm just throwing it out there for you guys to think about.
so right now, how long will it take to clean them? Like how long will we be without them?
7 to 10 days.
So if you don't have the spare, the 7 to 10 days, you're at risk of not being able to generate.
They're getting sent off tomorrow.
But what we have right now, if we were to lose power right now, we will be able to generate, correct?
We can generate. It's just not gonna be.
Like you just feel better if you have spare.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of cheating the system right now.
It's just,
I mean, it's a lot of money to sit there.
that's the bad.
But I just wanted to let you guys know the options.
I mean, I get why you want to be prepared, and it's just, just spend $16,000 for it to sit on the shelf for 3 years.
Or if someone goes bad, can't be cleaned.
Sure, then
The
we
new,
wouldn't
the
argue
new,
that,
these were grandfathered in, the new style, you get charged for. The old ones, you get free cleaning for life. That's grandfathered in, but once they go bad, that's gonna make them.
paying to clean them as we replace them.
They're pretty much like the Cadillac converter, basically.
How many hours do you get out of a setup?
It just depends on how rich or how loaded up it is. There's no.
Or the ones that needed cleaning, they come from
They
the
come from
older
the 5,
engines.
yeah.
Yeah, or the older engine.
The ones we looked at on the number 2 cat, which was put in 2002, I don't know when it was cleaned last. They didn't look too bad.
Do they get dirtier being we're just emergency run versus if it's running all the time?
Is this something
Shut it
that
down, let them shut it down.
you're gonna start having them clean it on a regular basis? Is this something that you can send in?
Really, we won't know. I mean, we can probably set up a schedule, but you really don't know until, like, the state comes and hooks up their monitoring system. We started up, we put it online, we weren't meeting the requirements. So we got to pull baffles out of another one to put in there to get to the requirements.
Can't we just get one? Like maybe one each year?
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't know how often we're gonna have to do this. We got, really tell you the truth, we got 5 more years, well, 4 more years till we gotta test another motor, emissions test. So, we really got 4 years to really think about it, because you won't know until then.
Price might go up too.
When they test you and you fail, then you're down completely?
Yeah, you can't run that motor.
Can't run that motor?
Yep.
How many catalysts are in each motor?
Depends, each one has a little different set amount. Small cat has has two with 2 blanks, and then the bigger cat has 4, and then the old Cooper, or not Cooper, but the Fairbanks has 4. And that maintains the pressure you need it to if you go change it up, changes your internal pressure. But it's not, like I said, it's not a life or death deal. I just want to put that out there for you guys. It's kind of one of the unseen deals until you run into it. The pressure monitors on those, we're starting to have problems with them. It's on one of those pages. The ones they have are very fragile and they are not worth the poop anymore. And this is the newer style and a lot cheaper. Basically, you can have the all of them done for the cost of 2 of them. The old ones are like $1,900 a piece. And right now, 5 needs replaced. So you can either go $1,800 route or go this other route. But if you do all of them, you'll all have an assistant. If you ever have a problem, you can take one. That's also something. But it will need to be done in the future.
Say one of those, catalysts go down. I mean, as far as, can you just put a new one on as we need it? What's the turnaround time there opposed to cleaning one for 7 to 10 days?
Probably ship out time, probably 6 days.
Still 7 days?
Yeah. And yeah, so if you put brand new ones in, you also have to have state testing.
Oh, okay.
So if you put all brand new ones in it, you have to run a test, emissions test. That's what I'm saying. Also, I think our next emission test is 4 years. Once you have them tested, you can have the backup set. You put them wherever. You won't need to retest them.
I would say, so we have to spend the 1,900 either way to get the one engine running on the transducer quote? Is that?
Well, that's the old style.
Well, I'm saying either way, we've got to do that for that one.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I mean, I would
we
be,
can run it, it's just not giving accurate reads. What we downloaded and sent to KDHE.
I would say if we need to spend 2,000, but we can spend 5 and get all 4 on the same transducer, meaning in the same program talking with one another, it would be worth the extra.
They'd all interchange if you had emergency or something.
And you could have, I mean, you can put a transducer on the shelf, if that's something that's gonna go bad, it can go in any of the 4 engines. I mean,
Price wise is quite a bit cheaper.
yeah, I would, if that's something we need to do, I would rather spend 5 and update the system than spend 2 and not have an updated system.
Who knows how it's gonna work, so they have all problems with it. They're just a little microchip inside of a little stainless steel sensor, and it sits on top of the stack and sensor vibrates. And they're glued in there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And what else did I do? Didn't get all the way through all the breakers testing. The 5 that did get tested, they found 2 of them had problems. Batteries in the switch gear are starting to get old and weak. I'm still waiting on some quotes back on that. And they're working, they're holding the voltage, but if you use them, they drop pretty fast. And the only other thing I got is see if I can get you guys permission to order some cross arms.
It's attached to your package.
Kind of got a rough quote. From Westco.
It's in my report.
Yeah,
The dot matrix printer.
there's no quote, it's just the bullet point.
185 a piece. Quantity, we got a pallet of 35. 8 foot fiberglass posts. So roughly 6,000.
I think it was in the clerk report.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's got-
clerk report?
Yeah, I think it has.
Stepping on toes.
There was no official quote, it's just an email, so I just put it on my report.
We need a motion to allow him to go ahead.
I'd make a motion to spend up to $7,500 on the fiberglass cross arms from Wesco.
Second.
Motion on the table by Gleason, Bunker seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Do we need a motion for,
I go along with what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get our system updated for
interchange
relatively,
parts.
you know, it's not that.
After we get those changed out, does the state have to come in?
No.
Enough?
She'll actually be, state lady will be the one putting them in.
Oh, okay.
We'll, this quote has tax.
There should be tax,
will be
yeah,
tax on it.
cause we correct revenues from his fund, so we have to pay taxes.
Oh,
Yeah.
or something. I'd make a motion, for the transducer update at the power plant and the amount of, $4,952.38.
Motion on the table from Aaron and Gleason.
Second.
For power
Is there a
plant
second?
compliance, that's the company, I didn't say that, sorry.
Second.
Second by Aaron Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. You have any other questions for Curtis? Council? Water Department, Jason, you got anything?
Yeah, I have to go ahead and, I'm not for sure if it's gonna last 1 week or 2, but I gotta get some salt orders for out there, and it's around 65. So, I didn't get a firm price on it, it's around 65. Usually the council just sits there and lets me go 7, and that'll cover it. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the end of this week, that order next week.
I'd make a motion that we buy salt for the nitrate plant in the amount of up to $7,000.
Second.
Motion on the table by Gleason, second by Bunker. Any more discussion? Aaron, Mark? All in favor? All opposed? That's 5-0. Anything else, Jason? Any questions for Jason, council? How about the street department? Nothing? Any questions? Moving on to Tory. Police chief.
I can't send out the card in your packets.
Got some,
Hoping that
Did you get one of
everybody
these?
got my email, yeah, I
yeah.
was able to get one. So I didn't know.
I missed the last meeting last month, so I kinda got caught up on it.
What's KHP's timeline, new timeline?
Maybe December.
December.
They don't really give timelines, they just say, okay, we'll move to the bottom of the list and we'll call you when it's.
When it's ready. I guess my only concern with the, like, buying one like this, I guess, is, I don't know that much about it, but I guess the police package would already have the vinyl floor and the back seat. Would you
No,
transfer that? It
Yeah,
doesn't?
we have to put the cage.
You have to
We
put
don't
the
have
cage.
cages, we put it in,
Oh,
but we
okay.
have a cage.
Okay.
It's in the silver Wrangler right now.
I got you. I thought that was built in. But then I guess the only thing I noticed was this was the Pentastar 3.6 instead of the bigger V8. It doesn't have the bigger brakes and stuff, but I suppose we're not really getting into chases.
Just don't go over 100 miles.
That would be my only concern, because I know they overbuilt some of the components in the police version. They put more
All the
struts and
police
stuff in.
package vehicles that I looked at were 40,000 above, and they told me to try to find something less than 30,000, so I didn't even
Sure.
entertain it.
Should we talk about this buyback option on here before we talk about this?
We're talking about,
Yeah.
total the vehicle and buy this vehicle. Yes.
The only concern I would have with the buyback is, you know, we get the almost 16,000. We'd spend the 13,500.
And we can't
And
get full coverage
that's an
on it.
estimate. That's an estimate. So we're basically where we started, maybe with a couple thousand more. But then we have a vehicle that if it wrecks, then we're out the total amount of a new car, you know. I think, and when you rebuild the front end like that, I feel like it's never quite the same.
I
But
think once it's wrecked, my information has been told to me that it comes back with salvage title.
It does, it will, so we can't insure it.
I'm not sure you want a cop car running down the road with salvage title.
I wouldn't drive it if it didn't have full coverage on it, personally.
Yeah,
And
that's,
I wouldn't make any.
I wouldn't be
decision
scared of
either.
it, but
no,
Yeah,
I think
the
different
salvage
situation.
title would be fine, but if we can't get it insured, full
Yeah.
coverage, I don't think that is
I don't
probably a
think it
good
makes
thing.
sense. I think we should, yeah,
Okay.
go a different route, whether it's this or.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna spend 10,000 to go from a car with, I guess, a similar year and 65,000 miles to a car with 29,000 miles for 10,000. I mean, insurance willing to pay to move the equipment was a big
Yeah, that's
deal.
nice, that's good.
So I would be fine with something like this, this price range.
is this, Corey, if you check this out, you know beyond a reasonable doubt it's a good car?
No, I know nothing about cars.
Carfax was one owner. It's been titled in Florida the whole time. I looked it up. I mean, as far as the Carfax goes, it's clean.
There's no accident on that report, so.
You'd
one
have,
owner.
well, I guess it's already 3 years old, so you'd be out of warranty. But let's say you might have a month of warranty left. But is there anything specific about this one that you liked, or just?
It was in the price range and under the miles that people would look for, so.
I'm being a stickler.
Yeah. Sure. And this car's available?
Yeah, we have hold on until tomorrow morning. Cause there's a different one. I brought down like 5 to Pam, I was like, here's 5 that I found, and she told me to check on one, and I like went up and called about it, and they're like, oh yeah, that just sold. So then I went to the next one, and I was like, they were like, you can put a hold on it, so. They like put a 24-hour hold, and I told them I called Monday, and I said we didn't have counsel until Tuesday, so they said they'd hold it till Wednesday, and they would call me, so.
What do you guys think?
Take care of it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need a vehicle.
Yeah,
the vehicle
I would say so.
I'd make a motion, I guess. Do you need it for 29,998 or what do you?
No, cause there'll be
There'll be the
some
transfer.
fees and stuff, yeah, so I would say up to $3,500.
About 1,000.
35,000, I'm sorry, yeah, 35,000.
I make a motion, to purchase this 2021 Dodge Durango from CarMax up to $35,000 total cost.
Second.
Got a motion on the table by Lisa. Who made the second? Mark seconds it. Any more discussion on the car from Carfax? No other discussion, all in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. Fire Chief Mike, you have any more questions for Tory, council? Or anything else? You have nothing, Mike?
No.
City Clerk Pam.
I don't have anything, unless you guys have questions about the report that I put.
What's that about SS towing?
They just wanna update the contract that they have with us.
Okay.
Yeah, so once I get that, from him, I'll present it again.
What are they wanting updated?
I
Not sure.
didn't have a
You
chance,
don't
he,
have
I
it.
wasn't here when he dropped that off, so I
Okay.
haven't had a chance to talk to him much, but I was just gonna waiting, and then when he turn it in, we'll discuss the changes. And then
So he's not terminating?
he's terminating the old contract, but wanting to sign with the, like, he's gonna draft up a new contract and present it later.
Well, I misunderstood, I already contacted Nick's Towing to see if they could do a deal with us throughout my UFM, so.
I mean, that's, right now, we're not in contract with anybody, so if you need tow, you're more than welcome to use some.
So he has terminated, so we're not in
Yeah,
contract.
so this, yeah, whatever that the date that he said we have until, that's when the contract will end. I think September, September? I'm sorry, I can't
So
remember.
we still need to use them till September.
Yeah, if we have towing to do, whatever day that he put it on there. I think you have to submit like 30 days
Yeah.
termination contract.
You wanna go over the zoning comprehensive plan?
Yeah, or we can talk about
Or-
under
oh,
new business since
okay.
I put it there, which we can take care of it now. So we had a regular zoning meeting on the 1st of August, and we have went over the chairperson have brought up that we, in their bylaws, there's supposed to be a comprehensive plan that they technically would look over, making sure that, you know, they were following what it's on that plans and stuff like that. And obviously we don't have one. So he wanting me to ask you guys to see if there's interest in getting one, you know, in place. There are companies out there that we can contact and, you know, have them come do these plans for us. I mean, we can probably do it ourselves, but it's gonna be very time consuming, and I don't know if that it's a good use of, you know, like, time.
I talked to him a little bit about it, he's talking about $20,000 to get one.
So yeah,
That was an estimate,
what do we,
just from him.
like, what does it do? We get this plan, what does it do?
So it's basically if our town were like, there'll be a plan in place if our town were to grow. You know, like if there to be a new subdivision or a new housing area that needs to be located, or like if we need to expand the city limits, or like there'll be technically whatever we want to put on there to like how we want our town to grow, basically. So
It's-
that sort of idea.
Yeah.
So.
I think take account on future growth of the city, businesses of the city, infrastructure needed to support that. And if, Cam, you took that zoning 101, both of us took that Zoom 101, and every city is supposed to have a 10-year plan. Because what you're doing is, anytime there's something that comes up that you need to vote on for whatever, doesn't meet our 10-year comprehensive plan. And that 10-year comprehensive plan's not concrete, that can change over time. But the big thing I got from this class is if you're voting on something, without a comprehensive plan, you're voting on personal opinion, opposed to, does this fit within our comprehensive plan? And it just makes the decision making
It's like a
lot
goal that
easier.
you set as a council.
So when it's basically if there's a zoning change
Issue, yeah.
or application and you have your comprehensive plan, then you're supposed to fall back on the comprehensive plan.
Correct. And they had mentioned that if you can't get a 10-year comprehensive plan, settle for 7. You know, but you need a minimum of 5. I mean, it's just, most cities don't, they cost money and they don't get it, and I think it's a good idea.
So
after-
what if something changes and the reason for the application totally doesn't fit your plan, but what the application makes sense?
Then you
can amend your plan or go off of the plan?
I would think you'd need to get with the zoning board. I think there's probably a way to amend it. This is just like a big picture plan, and I really think we need it if we're gonna anticipate, if we get the growth that we're anticipating. And
But it doesn't tie you down. Like my concern is just like things
Does it?
change. So
Right.
so if you set up this plan and like if we have a comprehensive plan, we did a comprehensive plan 2 years ago, and then they're gonna go try to build the Port Authority out here. Maybe something like that changes your comprehensive plan. So how do you change it or update it if you have something drastic come across the table?
I don't know, but what I can do for you is all this forward you, I think it's what, an hour and a half, Pam? I'll forward you the zoning 101 thing, and it explains it more in depth. It's a general overview, but I'm not the expert on it. They just highly recommend that every city has one.
It just sounds like every situation you're in, you just fall back to the plan, and then your decision's already
But
made.
you can change the plan. I mean, they made that, I remember them stating that. I don't want to give you false information. The plan changes, and they know the plans change, and they can be changed over time. So, that part I know is valid, I can tell you.
Does it say on there, do cities our size do it? Like, to me, like Dodge City, yeah, it's huge. They have a lot of growth, Garden City, but like for someone our size, does it make?
That answer is in the
there.
video that I'm going to forward you. Do you have that, Pam, still?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have that? After we took that class, they forwarded us that.
I can get one. I can email the link and get a copy.
I mean, before we vote on this, I just think everybody should watch it and get a basic understanding.
I don't think it'd be a bad thing to have. I don't. If it's gonna cost $20,000 to bring someone in, that's a lot.
That would be the only thing I would be reluctant on is the amount. But then again, without getting bids, we wouldn't know for sure.
Yeah. The alternative is another thing to look at, and the way I look at it, if we choose not to get it, it may cost more than $20,000 if there's an issue down the road. You know what I mean? So we just gotta think about that stuff. But it's more clear when it's an hour and a half. It's an easy webinar to watch.
Sure.
Okay.
Any more discussion on comprehensive plan? Moving on. Danny, you got anything?
Just a couple little things. Ryan with Economic Development emailed. He said he looked at the housing development agreement, the amendment we did. He didn't feel there's any need to update it. I looked at it. I agree with him on that. There's no set timeline saying they've got to have houses done so fast. The timeline that comes out that's in there is in the whereas provisions where it sets out the goals, but that's not in the actual obligations of the agreement. And then you look at the term of the agreement, it's 7 years, and the payments are over a similar number of years. So I don't.
7 or 6?
The agreement's 7, and then I think it's 6 payments during that time. So I think they're in compliance with it. I don't think there's anything that needs to be updated on that. So I told Ryan I'd share that information.
Okay.
The other thing, and this is kind of a weird, random thing, Pam had a complaint about rodents in a property or rats in a property, which led to what do we do about that? How do we solve that issue? What happens if someone catches those rats and then releases them elsewhere in the city? The city of Kiowa, Kansas does have a section of their code devoted to rodent control, and so it's something that if we wanted to copy, we could. I think it would be something that you could go to, that property owner with, and here's something that we're putting in place to deal with issues like this, where your neighbor does have a rodent problem. We've got a means to enforce it, and then we'd add a provision that you can't trap rats within the city limits, then release them elsewhere in the city, because that's not solving the problem, it's just transferring it. So, if that's...
So then it would be up to the owner to take care of the rodents.
Get rid of. And then it talks about the code from Kiowa about kind of building codes and building solutions to stop rats getting in there, and then not creating property that has a habitat for rats or an environment that would encourage a rat infestation to build up. So
So would it be like our other code violations, like with the housing, like if they don't
Yeah.
follow it, then at
Then-
some point we can go in and
Yeah.
clean it up, pay the people.
Yeah, and this is. It's got a couple different ways. It's got one about when you're building it, and then another, if there are rats, the city gives them notice to eradicate them. If they don't do it, the city can do it and then send them a bill for expenses.
So what's this called that you're proposing?
Well, this is code from the city of Kiowa, Kansas, but it's something that we could model one off of.
So
Say
what happened is that we have a property here in town that are abandoned, obviously, and then the neighbor have complained about the vermins coming out, and I have sent some of our guys to clean some of it up, but to get it all cleaned up and get it all thinning out as far as trees, shrubs, and stuff like that go. We did it on one side, but the other side we cannot get our equipment in, so it's gonna take a lot of manpower and a lot of time to get the other sides cleaned up, and I don't feel like that is the good use of our time, and it's like the money that we will be charging the property or the property owner that are on the deed is deceased. And supposedly the property have been sold to a new owner but have not changed the deed. So if we were to do all of this work and charge, we're not gonna get our money back. So this citizen is very upset about us not doing anything to solve this issue. So he have threatened us about catching those rats and bringing it into my office. Or me and Laura have seen him. I don't know if there was an actual rat or mouse, but he had a bucket and he walked into the square and let something off the ground last week. So that's
that led
what's.
to Pam calling me and trying to figure out,
What do we have the right
yeah,
to do?
what is
Yes.
this? This seems like it's a violation of something, but what?
Well,
And-
this same individual came knocking on my door a couple of days ago and wanted me to go look at it. And I said I'll get to it. But then I was searching around online for our codes, and 8-606 notice to eradicate rats, but we don't have anybody to serve this to.
That's within our current code.
Yeah, and then I have 8607 conditions conducive to harborage of rats, 8608 for
That's it.
inspections. I got it off our website.
That's probably the health code. Is it
Okay.
under
I
health
don't know,
code?
I just searched it.
Okay, because I mean, right now the property is in yard violation.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
Yeah, it's
And I have looked when they were cleaning. I
Oh,
have
yeah,
went
so
in
never
there.
mind, we got. Thank you.
Yeah. I have went in there and
The garage has a hole in the roof.
So
right.
was this on our list?
But the house itself, it's fine.
Right.
There's no hole. The window and door's still good. But the little shed behind the house, yeah, that needs to be torn down.
Was it on our list or?
No, it
can't-
wasn't
Our
because
outbuilding's not, or?
the outbuilding I couldn't get to because there's
Yep.
no alley, and until I actually walk on the property to go clean, then I saw the shed in the back.
Where's this at anyway?
It's Gail's Dill's
Oh,
house.
They're on First Street.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, so-
send them a letter like we did the others. But you don't know where to send the letter, I guess.
So what's the hold up on getting the deed changed? Isn't that automatic or
who did
after
sell it
they
to?
buy it?
Well, I mean,
Through
so
escrow?
so if you own something, you pass away, it doesn't automatically transfer unless you got like a transfer on death deed or a joint tenancy deed. Otherwise, you'd have to go through an estate.
So somebody in the estate got it? I mean, you said there was a new owner, right?
I think they're paid cash under the table. I mean, everything, like I checked the deed and the property, with the register of deed and the appraiser's office, everything is in the deceased owner's name.
So
But
those
there
are
has,
other legal route we can take to get it.
I mean,
It's- it would be be, wouldn't it go to the estate or the people deceased would have it? I mean, someone has to be paying taxes on it.
Yeah,
Someone's
and
younger.
it would get assessed on that.
I mean, it was like that one property that went to tax sale that they said they bought cash but never filed the deed and then wanted to buy it back. You know, it eventually just went to
Yeah.
tax sale.
But then again, I that's probably a good, would work, but I don't know.
Can you write a scary letter?
Well, you'd have to have. I mean, we can serve a notice of it, but if the record owner, you know, is a deceased person, it's going to be hard to prove that it belongs to somebody else without having a deed, a contract, something of record. So then the cost would get assessed, and you get that 3 years later when it goes to a tax sale, assuming they don't walk in and pay 1 or 2 back years of taxes to keep it.
But to pay the
Keep it
tax, would they have to update the deed?
I don't know that you would. You might be able to go in and just say, I want to pay the property taxes on this property.
I mean, trying to walk in the backyard, I would say it's a hazard. I mean, it's so thick, you can't get
But
3
we
or
can-
4 feet inside.
I looked under the animal section of the road, but we've got that section of code, so we can send something out on that and see.
Well, I think we should try to do something because I wouldn't like to live next to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say I saw rats, but it's definitely an environment for them. All right, so I guess that handles that.
Okay. I was
Send
thinking
them a
of something
notice.
else in
Yeah,
mind,
okay.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Any other
so
questions
can
for Danny?
So who's gonna send a letter?
I guess I will.
I'll work with you
Because
on
there's
that.
surely a tax, there's
So-
an address that the tax statements are going to.
Are we sending the housing violation letters or the rodent letters?
Could
Or
do
both?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I
Notice
think
to
both of
eradicate.
them need corrected.
Yeah.
The outbuildings and
The tax address
That's what I
on
came
some
up
crap.
with if you want.
That'll
Yeah,
work. Thank
that's
you. Like I said, I was
the,
just in
Okay.
what's the animal section instead of the housing section.
Stout Street and crap.
that got returned when we sent the mowing letters.
so a letter will be, so yeah, how do you do that? If you get your mowing letter returned from the tax address, that's a reason to send a letter, right?
Well, this
Yeah.
individual
We still
said there's
have
somebody
to.
that goes and mows the front yard.
Yeah, I've seen people there mowing,
But
but they're, they,
you don't know, we
I
don't
don't
know who they are.
recognize them and.
Said they're maybe from Larned or something. That's all.
You know, so I think a lot of you send a letter, it's the last address we have, we make our attempts to get service that way. Some of them go tack the notice on the door.
So it'd be the same, like,
But
there,
then
there were people that refused our certified letters. when
Yeah.
we had 'em. Is it the same?
Yeah.
So if we get them returned,
Yeah, you make your attempts to get service.
Have the taxes been paid?
I don't know, I didn't check.
I would check on it.
well, I think we should try to send them, that way we have record that we tried to the tax address, and then if we get nothing, then we'll put it on our list and move forward with something.
That would be one, I believe I'd send a certified letter
Yep.
and make a file of it.
Okay.
If it comes back undelivered, well, then you've got the proof of it that you tried to deliver it.
Yeah.
So in the I mean, it's sort of the same thing. I got a lot of people coming to me with cat issues. I guess there's a road on the west side by the stable. Some woman said she can't drive. The cats won't move. They're just laying in the street. I haven't seen it. So how do we handle cats in the city?
What
They're
I
all-
mean, it's becoming a huge problem in every small town.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we have live traps that citizen can come and rent one, and not rent, but borrow one. But they are in charge of trapping them and relocating them, like, cause obviously we don't have the manpower or the fund to do that. There is a space and neutered program, but the vet here that we have in town, they don't do that because they couldn't handle the volumes. And obviously, you know, we'll have to catch those cats and bring it here and stuff. It's very costly, but it's like I don't have a good answer to it because I try everything and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even think this was a lady that lived there. She was just going through that street.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think she'd rather just use another street.
I mean, I got traps. Like, I'll be more than willing to drop traps off.
To answer your question on the delinquency of that house, I don't believe it's on the delinquent list. Somebody's paying it.
Yeah, so probably the person that paid cash on their table and never filed a deed.
But nobody's actively living there.
So I don't even know why they want. I mean, there were people there this spring that cleaned it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know who they were, but
I think Jamie was trying to catch them, but they left before she could get to the house to them,
Yeah.
so we don't know who that was.
Any other questions for Danny before we move on? Property code violations. Anybody got anything on 518, 101, 406, or 112?
112 is interesting. So that's something new.
Yeah, but they have changed their mind for
Oh,
now.
okay.
So, I think we need to set a deadline for them to see when they can get that house taken down. Cause it's been on this list since last year, so maybe I need to just tell them that, hey, end of the year, yeah. So.
Any other questions? We covered the Fifth Street Road White's Food Liner 2024 housing violations. I think we talked about that just now.
Oh yeah, that was on your notes too. So you just reached out to him. I can't remember what it said.
The title work is, they're working on the title
Oh,
work,
okay.
so I haven't got the report back, but, what's that company's name?
First Americans.
First American's doing the title work on that one property.
Okay.
Anything other than that on 2024 housing violation? We've covered the patrol vehicle, new business, we covered the comprehensive plan. Executive session, need to introduce,
Who needs to be included?
Me and Curtis.
Make a motion to go to executive session for 5 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel, to include council, mayor, clerk, lawyer, and electric supervisor.
second.
got a motion on the table and a second by Bunker. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
We'll be back
Back in
at 28.
12 o'clock, meeting back to order.
I'd make a motion based on the, do you need two motions or one? Based on the evaluation presented, that we give Laura a $1 raise to $22 an hour.
Got a motion on the table. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a second by Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.
I'd make a motion based on the evaluation presented to give Eric a raise of $1.01 to $17.50 per hour.
Got a motion by Kyle on the table, a second by Mark. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0. I'll entertain one more motion if you guys are done talking.
I'd make a motion that we adjourn regular council meeting August 20th, 2024.
Second.
Motion on the table by Gleason and a second by Raines. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passes 5-0.